For 50 years, Communities in Schools of Atlanta has been surrounding students with a community of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve in life. What started out of one small office in Atlanta, Georgia, with 3 men on a mission to positively affect the lives of students, has grown to CIS sites across 26 states and the District of Columbia.
So we moved into Atlanta, we moved into a house, 19-room house with 4 bathrooms. So we built a community there. A couple of the guys that we were living with dug out the basement. It had one little window, a dirt floor, and we had 2 desks that the Robinson Humphrey Company gave us. And we had a telephone, 1 line, 2 phones. And that was the launching of what is now called Communities in Schools.
We didn't go into schools because of education. We went in because God had called us to love kids into change. And wherever they were, we were going to follow them. And I said schools, at least during our lifetime, are going to be the hub. And if we got inside the hub, that was the place where we could get to the most kids.
But we couldn't do anything really with children if we didn't have strong people that those kids could connect with. And so we knew that Dave was better at that than any human being we have ever known, but not just to children. He looked at adults and looked them in the face and said something, and they wanted to do it.
He's got a great legacy to look back on because we wouldn't be here without David. He had the streets, he had the knowledge, he had the trust.
But that's what we talked about, how to get through to schools and school people to say that we had a legitimate enterprise. We weren't teachers, but we were good at figuring out how to connect with people, and particularly with children.
We kept our eyes focused on our mission, which was to have kids not end up like a lot of my friends end up either dead or in jail, that we wanted them to have hope and a future.
And we were believing in kids. I had a principal tell me on a tour I took, this guy said, I have been in education for 31 years. I am a principal of this school. What Communities in Schools taught me is to never give up on children. They made me a believer in that idea because I just knew in my heart all those years, this kid's gonna make it and this kid can't make it. CIS said they all can make it if we do our part. If we got our site coordinators into our schools and they began to connect with those kids, which they always did, it would work.
I say it takes an orchestra of love and loving people to start, sustain, and grow a movement. That everybody has a part in it, whether it's a board member or whether it's not transactional, I'm helping you to help. No, we all have a place in the orchestra. Some to raise the money, some to give, some to work with the kids. But we're one family, and that's what's kept us going and growing. And we were able to over the years, make the transition from the frontier days where Neil and Dave and others of us were just out there in the trenches, just praying and working. And we backed our theory of change, of loving our neighbor does make the difference.
Well, as I think about the energy that Frank has leading the organization at Communities in Schools of Atlanta and the context in which that work sits, it's that vision to get to the work and to get to the students who need our work the most.
Through Communities in Schools, we have discovered, regardless of where a child lives, whatever his address is, that child, if they're supported and get what everybody deserves to get, love and caring and support and belief in them, they're going to be successful.
The mission remains the same today as it did 50 years ago, ensuring that students have the needed resources to be successful in life, with a strong foundation of love and support.